This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And hey, Mouse Fan Travel gets you great deals on lots of different times of the year at Walt Disney World. But if you're planning on joining us for a reunion, not only are you going to get a great deal on your room for a reunion in December 1st through 5th, 2010, but you're also going to get some other great benefits, such as the ability to book in advance any hard ticket parties that are going to be coming out that are special admission for reunion. In fact, there's already one on the books. Yeah, check out the reunion website if you don't know. But you know what? There's maybe some more stuff coming up there. And by booking with MEI and Mouse Fan Travel into that room package, you're going to be guaranteed an opportunity to be first in line to book. So why not try them online? Go to www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, September 1st, 2010, and this is episode 767 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hodgeberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for allears.net. Welcome, Mike.
Now, you already have been organized into teams, and soon each of you will be assigned a position.
The master of hair plugs himself, Gary Sinise, Mission Space.
Ah, yes.
I can't help but stare at his hair plugs in there.
Hair plug Gary, we call him.
Count number of times he blinks.
Is he a big blinker?
No, he's not. I don't think he blinks once.
Oh, it must be the Botox he got in there just before the show.
He's unable to blink now.
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse Radio, a man who never needs any Botox. Hi, Mike.
Oh, thank you, Vet. Thank you. I was going to yell at you, too, but now I can't.
No love.
Also joining us on today's show is Fred Hazelton, the master statistician for touringplans.com. And Fred, you're on loan for us for a couple of weeks while Len is off visiting some country that I'm pretty sure both of us decided was not really worth our time anymore to be a part of. But I'm glad that you decided it's good to be part of the show. So welcome aboard the show temporarily, Fred.
Oh, it's glad to be here temporarily until I get kicked off again.
Yeah, I like how we're outsourcing, by the way, our content now to Canada. We can't afford to have Americans on the show, Phil, so we're going to Canada.
That's right.
It's Wednesday. We're answering your listener questions, and our first email is from Kim Knight, who writes, just catching up on my podcast. During listener questions episode 755, someone asked about the hawk bird on Expedition Everest. Happy to report that effect is working, and I saw it on several consecutive rides one day and a few days later. As for the Yeti, well, let's just keep this positive. Thanks for the great podcast. Catching up on all the episodes today is helping me get through the seemingly endless wait before my trip to the world begins later. Thanks for the update, Kim. Always good to know about I'm glad to hear the bird is back. For those who aren't aware, the bird is on Everest. When you get to the part where the track ends and you're like just sitting up there for a little bit, and the bird would come up on the left-hand side. It was just this thing. The bird just comes up and comes down. But for a while, it wasn't working.
Have you not heard? That the bird is the word?
The word. Bird, I knew that's what you were going to
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word. But without Len, someone's got to sing. Fred, I hope you're good at crooning.
Oh, jeez. I didn't know I had to practice.
Yeah, we're expecting you to fill in with not only useful information from the unofficial guide, but also witty lyrics to past 80s hair bands and, of course, any pop culture references that any 12-year-old might know about.
I'm on it.
Okay, very good.
I'm on it.
Next email's from Rob Craddock of Springfield, Illinois. Hey, everyone, but this question is for Len. He must obviously be Fred.
Of course.
Why is Epcot a 9.5 on the per park calendar on November 10th, 2010, while the other parks are 1s and 2s?
Is that a Wednesday?
Is it a Wednesday? It is, yeah. I was just doing this tonight, actually, looking at my things. We've had a few people mention this, and we didn't know what was going on, so we took a closer look. And actually, Matt, I sent you a message last week about this, but did you guys notice that in the fall they have a lot of days where they have back-to-back extra magic hours? So on this particular example, on the Tuesdays in the fall, Epcot is hosting extra magic hour mornings, and then on the Wednesdays it's hosting extra magic hour evenings. And this is something that's quite rare, like in going back to 2006, where we've collected all the wait time data. It's only happened a handful of times. And so we think what's going on is that our model is kind of inflating those times. It's just based on the data that we have. It says that those two things combined should raise the wait times.
Uh-huh.
So we've been actually working on an adjustment for that because we're not sure if that's actually going to be the case.
Oh.
So we'll see. Do you guys ever recall being maybe like for Food and Wine last year, being at Epcot on a day that had the Extra Magic Hour evenings? I know that they don't keep the booths open in the evenings, from what I recall.
The booths or the booths?
The booths, both.
The kiosks.
The kiosks.
Booths, the two booths.
I don't recall that. Yeah, I think like you said, the kiosks are closed for Extra Magic Hours.
Yeah.
But I do. It was funny you did mention that to me last week, Fred, and we were talking about it. In fact, someone had actually tweeted me that in this. I think it was earlier in the spring, or it was either this year or last year, like March 2009. I want to say.
Yeah, spring 2009. It happened as well.
Yeah, so it's an interesting phenomena.
It happens now and then at the Magic Kingdom, but it's rare to see it at the other parks.
Yeah, they're happening at the studios as well, and Epcot, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Anyway, so for the listener, they should probably go back and check the calendar. It may have been updated.
Next email is from Becky Kale of Cincinnati, Ohio. Just listened to episode 761 and your comments on the Cape May Cafe. Just ate there 2 weeks ago with my husband and 2 kids ages 8 and 5. I agree that the food overall was just okay, but the reason to go is all-you-can-eat crab legs. I was surprised to find them decently cooked, and they turned over quickly, and they were always fresh. The salads on the salad bar are pretty good as well, and the mini lava cakes for dessert, delicious. Would I make this a destination? No, probably not. But if staying around Epcot, or if you're around the Epcot area, I would stop by. Thanks for the great show. P.S. Love Scopa's idea for the Egypt Pavilion at Epcot. The maze sounds awesome. He should be an Imagineer. There you go, Mike.
Thank you. I agree.
Great. Next email is from Peter LeBlanc of Vancouver, Canada.
Yes.
Right. After having resisted the idea of going to a Disney park for years, my sister told me she was going with her family, and we decided to join her. It sounded like an invitation. They have been 3 or 4 times, but this is the first time for me, my wife, and my 5-year-old daughter. I found a copy of the Unofficial Guide to Disney at the library and have devoured it, and it led me to this podcast, which has become my favorite. I'm learning a lot. Boy, Newell, it's a good thing Len's on here to know that we're getting listeners through the book. Otherwise, he would charge us extra for that.
I know. Fred will tell him.
He's
Though.
not here.
Okay, I'll tell him. He'll know.
Thanks for having our back, Fred. I did my Disney day of volunteering a week ago. A group of us dismantled a barn to turn back into a habitat and listened to about 10 episodes while pulling nails from boards and cutting down barbed wire fences. Now on to my questions. We'll be staying at the Port Orleans Riverside for a week, and I see that there are bikes that can be rented. Are those just for getting around the resort, or can you actually go from park to park, resort to resort by bike? Do you get or need a helmet and lock? Scopa, you're laughing. Perhaps you'd like to answer that question.
I think that those bikes allow you to go from Riverside to maybe Port Orleans and back along the Ketchick. Is it the? No, it's the Sassagoula.
Sassagoula.
Right? Yeah. Sassagoula. I don't think you can go on the Ketchick Creek. There's no way you could ride a bike from resort to resort.
Yeah.
In fact, you shouldn't. So don't do it.
Definitely not to the parks. I mean, you couldn't get to a park. I don't think it'd be a long bike ride, and you'd be going on highways the whole way.
Yeah. I don't believe that the helmet and lock question. Do you get a helmet or need a helmet and lock? And I don't think they give you bike locks. I think, there are these Disney bikes, and if you steal them, it's going to be pretty obvious. I don't know about the helmet. I assume that a helmet is included with the rental, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Have you guys ever rented a bike at Disney?
I don't recall seeing people with helmets.
I don't either, and I've rented them at Key West.
They don't wear helmets on motorcycles in Florida. Why would they put them on bikes? I guess.
Yeah, don't tread on me.
Ooh. Could you ride from Port Orleans to downtown Disney?
No.
You can take the watercraft rental.
Yeah, but there's no path. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if anyone
research
trip exactly. Let's go on to our next question. Peter has a second question. My second question is about fruit. Coming from the Arctic Canada, I'm looking forward to fruit in season in Florida.
Vancouver's not in Arctic Canada.
Is it easy to get some Florida citrus and other in-season goodies at the park, or is there another way? In the park? No, I don't think they have anything that you wouldn't find at your supermarket.
By other way, does he mean like raiding local farms, or what do you have in mind?
I think
maybe that's what he wants the bike for.
Yeah, we know how you Canadians are, just pirating everything.
Like pirates.
No, yeah. The only way you really get, if you want to get like oranges, for instance, you'd have to go off property. There are some people that will sell them like on the side of this road, literally. Usually on like Route 535, you can find some. It's okay. I mean, if you really wanted to find a fresh, there are farms around the area and you can pick your own. It's really kind of fun if you're interested. Best way to do it is you would take 192 west, and you're going to drive all the way to Route 27, which then you'll take that north, and you'll see a bunch of farms over there that you can pick your own, or you can just pick from bushels that they have over there. I would say it's about, from Disney World, you're probably looking at a 20-minute drive probably with traffic. It's not distance long. It's just you got to take the road to get there. It's kind of fun. It's nice if you're there for a while and you're looking for, and you have a rental car. It's a fun little thing to do.
Yep, that's what I do when I go to Walt Disney World. Look for farms.
Next email is from Amy from Milan, Indiana. We'll be going to the world. I'll save you some trouble soon. Just kidding. We're going approximately the third week of October 2010. This will be our boys' second trip to the world, ages 8 and 12. We stayed at Pop Century last time, and it was great for the kids, but my husband and I thought the rooms were very snug. We'd like to upgrade a bit this time. The reason between the two resorts is we'd like to do bunk beds. Oh, the two resorts are Wilderness Lodge or Animal Kingdom Lodge. It was in her subject line. So Animal Kingdom Lodge, Wilderness Lodge, or Animal Kingdom Lodge. Anyway, we would like to upgrade a bit this time. The reason between the two resorts is we want to do bunk bedrooms. I think the boys really like them. So which do you think, Animal Kingdom Lodge or Wilderness Lodge? My biggest concern would be transportation, as we would not be renting a car and will be at the mercy of Disney transportation. We'll be staying approximately 6 nights with Hopper passes. We'll be going to all 4 parks at least once, and we'll definitely be doing Magic Kingdom and Epcot more than once. Any help in my decision would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for the great podcast, getting me through these cold, dreary Indiana winter days. Brr.
Probably looking at the Wilderness Lodge for both convenience, location, and probably price.
I would agree with you, Mike. I think the transportation and the proximity is definitely better at Wilderness Lodge, in my opinion.
Maybe the price too, Matt.
You think there'll be a big price difference?
I don't know about a big price, but I think there would be a big enough difference regarding the two to see Wilderness Lodge as getting the nod. I think so.
Cool. Next email. Anyone else? Fred?
Right, Mike?
No, I agree with that. I think Wilderness Lodge has better transportation. Certainly, if they're going to do Magic Kingdom twice, they can hop on the boat. It's a lot quicker. Animal Kingdom Lodge is as far away as you get from everything except for Animal Kingdom, of course.
Cool.
Yep.
This might be a good email for Fred here. Lee from Houston writes, "Hey, WW Today team, checking in again after listening to a few more of your listener question episodes. This led me to question my own. We always hear about different days at the world. There's gay days, Jersey days, etc. So what other days are there? Is there some days I don't know about? Maybe there's a group or association I'm affiliated with that have these days and I've been missing out the whole time. Are there middle-aged retail manager days in September? How did these days come to be? Did the New Jersey Chamber of Commerce work out something with Disney? Did it start with a few carloads of cousins that decided to take a vacation together? These are mysteries of life that keep me up at night. But seriously, what are the other days out there? Thanks for everything you folks do on the podcast to keep us entertained and informed."
Wow. Well, some of these things are official, like recognized by Disney, but most of them are not. They have their own organization that's choosing a particular week to have an event there,
Right?
Kind of like we do for Reunion, that kind of stuff. But in terms of how they affect crowds, most of them don't have a huge impact. The ones that do, we throw them on the crowd calendar because there's usually a reason to avoid them.
Yeah. You got gay days, which you mentioned. Jersey Week is when it's in September?
November.
No,
November. And it has to do with holidays for that region, so it becomes a popular time for all the East Coasters to come down.
You have Pop Warner, which is the football thing in early December, like the first 2 weeks of December, basically.
Yeah, and you've got the cheerleading competition, which is in the spring.
Yeah, February, March.
A lot of the race weekends are becoming popular. All the marathon weekends, usually in the winter.
Scopa, Newell, can you think of any other ones?
Wasn't there special music days in April? And
The Magic Music Day thing, right?
Yeah.
You've got that. Those don't affect crowds terribly much, I don't think.
No, we don't even put those on there.
There's also something in September with Christian music, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Night of Joy.
Night of Joy. Right.
Yeah. That's actually an interesting one because they close the whole park, right? That's a private event where they actually shut the park down early.
Yeah, it's hard ticket. Yeah, those are basically. I mean, the ones that you really hear about quite often: Jersey Week, Gay Days to one extent or another. I don't think it's not as big. Papa Warner. These are the ones where you're going to see some hits. But I think otherwise, you're just dealing with major trends like spring break, summer. Those kinds of times. By the way,
it totally should be a middle-aged salesman day. Maybe that's every day. I don't know.
Remember the question about the bike rental and the helmets? I checked our friend who runs this website, porterleans.org.
Oh, yeah.
Andre?
Anyway, yeah, exactly. He writes, on the website, helmets are provided free of charge with bicycle rentals, and Florida law requires bicycle renters under 16 years old to wear helmets.
Okay.
So, there you go. So
check out the crack research team, WDW Today. Wow.
Yeah, that's right. We steal information from other people's good websites.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, Andre Wiley, who actually we met.
Yep, we met at Old Key West
after we did a live show from
Old Key West. That's right. What was that? 2 years ago?
Yeah, that was the infamous bug episode.
Yeah, yeah.
We did an episode. We said, "Oh, it'd be nice." Just quickly, we were doing a live show from Old Key West. Me and Newell had a Granville, all right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and we said, "Oh, we have a Granville. Why not broadcast from the porch? It's a nice night." So we got out there, and then there were literally like a swarm.
And they calling now.
There was a swarm of insects. At first it was like, okay, we'll just deal with it. And it got so bad we had to literally pick up all of our equipment in one handful and run back inside because it was just that bad. So
yeah, it was.
Then we met Andre, so it was much better.
Yeah, it was cool.
Next email is from Greg Langhorn, or Greg from Langhorn, Pennsylvania. Rather.
Greg Langhorn.
Heading to the world soon.
Welcome back.
All the information, and I had a question about the Wishes dessert party. All the information I could find says that the party was concluded in either late 2009 or early January 2010, but there have been lots of posts on forums say they suspect they'll be returning in the spring of 2010, or once again, depending on when you get to this. I was wondering if any of you have any insider information about when the party will be returning and if it's going to continue going. And if you get this after I get back, yes, I'm sure I had a good time, and I will see you in January 2011 in the Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge.
Yeah, I mean that terrace is all done. They've finished refurbishing it. I was really surprised that we haven't seen it. Maybe they're waiting until I don't know. I mean, you'd think that if they were going to start holding them in October, Food and Wine, we would have heard something by now.
I'm seeing online the fireworks dessert party is available for dates through December 30th, 2010. Adults are $21.99, children 3 to 9, $11.99. Does not include tax. There's a higher charge for those dates Disney considers peak, of course. For that, it'll be $25.99 for adults, $13.99 for children. Yeah, I know Len's not a big fan of it, just for the principle of it, not what the event actually entails. It's the lack of an egalitarian take on the event, because it's giving people not preferred access. If you pay, you get, and that's something that I know that Len's not a big fan of. What do you think of that, Scopa? What do you think of the dessert party? I don't know if you've done one, but what's your idea about it in principle?
Well, I think that I'm not too crazy about the location. I don't think it's the best location to watch Wishes. I think you're basically paying for. I guess you're paying for elbow room, and you're paying for desserts. From what I understand, the desserts are very, very I don't know, exquisite, I guess I'd use from what I've been told by people who've gone there. So if you're into desserts and you want some elbow room if you're watching Wishes, then, I guess you'd go. At $21, you better eat a lot of desserts.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Next email is from Bruce from Brooklyn. He writes, "Hi, guys and gal. In response to the very recent or very old episode that you did on taking the auto train at Disney World, I wanted to mention some things Mike wasn't aware of. While I have never taken the auto train, I have taken the silver trains from New York's Penn Station to Orlando once a year, every year, since 2005, except last year when I did it twice. The trains named Silver Star or the Silver Meteor date all the way back to World War II. The price of coach seats stay the same. The price of the sleeper room upgrade is based on supply and demand. It's not a fixed price. The first time I priced Amtrak, from the time I started to look at the fares to when I finally booked it, just a couple of days later, the price at the room increased almost 40%. While I get the AAA discount, there's no discount available on the price of the sleeper room upgrade. Coach fare from New York to Orlando is about $115 non-discounted. The sleeper room upgrade can be anywhere from almost $200 to well over $400 if demand is too high. Well, I don't know then, but soon figured out, the price can also go down just as fast, and the last couple of years it has. I monitor the price of the sleeper room upgrade, and if the prices drop, I stop in at Penn Station and trade in my more expensive tickets to the cheaper price ones. I'm talking an average savings from $75 to $200. Mike, if you like the steak now, it's even better earlier in the year. I was served a potted piece of steak back in September. Previously, I was served a very tasty hot flat iron steak. But you know when's even the better than the steak? The Angus cheeseburgers.
I
Did you ever
didn't
have that, Mike, on your train?
No, they didn't. I didn't have that option.
Oh. Yes, sometimes being seated with strangers is a minus, depending on who you sit with you. You can also request to eat in the roomette. Depending on the sleeper room steward, this may be an option. This is all first class, and they must serve your meal on white linen in your room. They also have juice and coffee available to sleeper room passengers around the clock. Mike, see you at 79th one of these days.
Uh-oh. I'm there, Bruce. I haven't seen you yet. You keep saying you're coming by, but I don't see you.
Have you heard about that, Newell, before? This other train that he's talking about?
Well, that's the one that comes out of New York. The auto train doesn't go out of New York because of the height for the auto carriers. So they can only go as far as I believe that's the furthest point north before it becomes electrified. Uh-huh. And once it becomes electrified, you can't run those high trains. So the Northeast Corridor is electrified. So that's why.
So it didn't appeal to you to be able to take the train from New York?
I can't bring my car, so yeah. The whole thing for me taking the auto train was I have my car, so I might as well fly if that's the case. And don't forget, you're adding on another. I mean, the drive is consistent, but you're adding on another 5 hours, so your 17-and-a-half-hour train right now becomes 23 hours.
Yeah, good point. Next email is from Melissa Wiseman of Fishers, Indiana. Thanks for the great work you do on the podcast, not only giving us great advice, but also making the most of us laugh during long drives to work. We recently went to the world in October for our honeymoon. As Matt will remember, early October had heat indexes of 100 degrees and was hot and miserable. We had arranged to meet Matt in the studios on Sunday afternoon, but while standing in one of the stores, my husband had whispered to me, "I think that might be him." I look over, and there he was taking pictures of the merchandise and promptly walking to the next store. After some prompting by my husband, he had me follow into the next store and introduce myself. It was great to meet someone that I listen to weekly and put a face with the voice. He did give the question our truth behind actually listening to the show, as we had decided to stay at Coronado Springs and eat in the night before at T-Rex Cafe. We knew Coronado was not the most recommended of the moderates, but wanted to see for ourselves. It was a good choice as we got upgraded. Getting married has its perks. Into the new building in the Cabana 9B that was added as club level in 2010. The room was spacious and the design was unique and perfect for our honeymoon. Following the trip, we were sad to realize that it would be at least a year until our next trip, but we're very excited when the new in-laws told us that we're going back to the world New Year's for family Christmas gift. Amazingly, when we got there, it was only 40 degrees, quite a change from 100 degrees we had experienced in October. It was only for the weekend, but still enough to get us back into the Disney mood. This trip, we stayed at All-Star Movies, and we're in quite a change in scenery. The resort seemed a little outdated in the room decor, and the things that were noticeable difference between Coronado and Movies, the TV, bathroom area, and bedding, were surprising. The one aspect of the resort that we did enjoy was the food court, as the Coronado one was strange and required too much work. I believe that in your unofficial guide, you gave Coronado a 7 out of 10 and Movies a 3 out of 10. Yes, we've started rating places. We've stayed in 8. I believe that they gave it a 7 out of 10 and a 3 out of 10. That makes more sense. We actually tried Narcoossee's, which you told us not to try, even though we didn't like seafood, and we loved it. One thing I did observe on both trips and wanted to know if you thought the same, but the DVC membership was pushed a lot more than in recent years. Around every corner there's a booth, and you can't miss the entire channel filled with information in the process. While it doesn't bother me, I couldn't help remember another trip that I'd seen this before. That's a good point about DVC. Have you guys noticed that there's the increased marketing push by DVC?
I've noticed it for sure. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's
they gotta
seems to be a lot more public, like sort of out there in your face than it used to be. But I don't know why that would be.
And they got to be hurting for sales. I mean, they're building so many resorts, and now with the economy, I mean, I don't know many people that are buying DVC.
No.
I mean, I definitely think it's much more in your face. I mean, that's why I think we all joke about, DVC is the best kept Disney secret, according to the commercials. And it's, probably, I mean, who doesn't know about it? Because it's just so much, it's so in your face. There's multiple locations in the parks, the channel, which you mentioned. When you check in, you're going to get DVC stuff in that little packet that you get. What's your thoughts on it, Scopa?
Yeah, I think you're right, Matt. After a while, I think saying it's the best kept secret it's kind of it's hypocritical what it is, because a secret is not told as much as anything else, and I think that with the economy the way it is, I see the push. I'll bet that DVC sales are at possibly an all-time low right now.
I wonder if they're losing a lot of sales to resales too, because it could be that people that were considering buying through like a new membership through Disney are just going through resale instead to save money. I don't know.
That could be too. That could be very true. And I think that whole best kept secret thing, that was, a advertising campaign from 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So and they're still running with it. So while it might have been a best kept secret in 2000, not so much more. So I think it's time to change up the advertising a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose the worst kept secret doesn't quite have the same ring to it. But.
The interesting thing though, someone mentioned to me, and it's got me thinking. Well, I'm interested in hear your thoughts. One thing we mentioned quite a bit. Disney's raising the prices of tickets, raising the prices of hotels, and nearly everything else. Does DVC feel? It seems like the price for DVC though hasn't quite matched that. I mean, do you feel like you're getting a higher value out of your DVC membership now?
You're asking someone who bought, almost 20 years ago. And it's I bought it $54 a point. It's now over $100-something. It's different. So for me, yes.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that they've done is that you're getting less square footage for your buck. There's no doubt about that. When you look at Old Key West, how big the rooms are compared to the new ones, they're just getting smaller and smaller while the price goes up.
That's the best kept secret is Old Key West. Now, shh.
Well, Old Key West is great. If I was going to buy in, I'd be buying at Old Key West. I'd take all the bugs.
Next email is from Doug Rubin, who writes 12 visits to Walt Disney World during the past 8 years, 2 cruises, and 2 trips to Disneyland, too.
Wow.
Hundreds of WDW Today podcasts and most of the text on the unofficial guide buried in my brain. And I have no clue how to visit Universal. So we're going this fall on site to score unlimited Universal Express Fast Pass, Harry Potter, of course, wife, 9-year-old son, and WDW Fanatics. Any thoughts? So, Fred, can you give Doug perhaps the 2-cent advice for Universal?
Well, because he's staying on site, he's already miles ahead of the game. When you're trying to queue up in the morning to see the Harry Potter Wizarding World, they have 2 lines, one for resort guests and one for non-resort guests. So for the resort guests, it opens up between an hour or a half an hour earlier than the regular park guests. So show up about a half an hour before that, and you should be able to get in line and explore the whole area before the rest of the park has access to it. So the fact that they've got the Universal Express passes, they're going to be fine.
Okay, so basically that alone will be a good advice right there just to get that resort.
Well, it's like getting a Dream Fast Pass just by checking into a Disney resort. So it's the way to go.
Cool. Next email is from Darlene from Buffalo, New York. Writes, my husband won that Star Wars T-shirt on your Studio Central chat. Hi, Darlene. He wears it all the time. That's good. Now for my question. My daughter, her boyfriend, and other friends are planning a Florida vacation. She's wondering what parks she can fit into one day. Yes, you heard me, one day. No one else thinks she'll have time, so her and him are going for one day. Without killing themselves, what do you suggest?
Ooh.
Between Animal Kingdom and the studios, I would say.
Well, it depends what they want. I mean, if they want to do the complete park, then yeah, that's your only option. But if they're talking about, like, do they want sort of like the maximum amount of entertainment? Like, are they going to park hop? Probably not if they're only going to get a one-day ticket, I suppose.
Yeah, I think they're best if you're going to get a one-day ticket. Like you just said, Fred, I don't think it's financially smart to get a park hopper option for that.
No.
Oh.
So you should probably honestly stick in one park and spend your day over there. And if you still don't have enough Disney, and by that point, I mean, go to the resorts or something. Have dinner somewhere, or try to do downtown Disney or something like that.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we can say that if they really want to be surrounded by the maximum amount of Disney culture, then the Magic Kingdom would be the choice. But if they really want to be able to get through everything, I think I'm going to change my mind. I think I'm going to say studios instead of Animal Kingdom, because Animal Kingdom is not open as late as the studios. So I think I'll go with studios as my choice.
Mike, I've always thought you were the smartest of the panelists here, and also the most handsome, might I add.
Thank you, Matthew. I agree.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Animal Kingdom, it's too small. I would feel like you wouldn't be getting your money's worth by getting a one-day ticket there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of a good park to go on, kind of one of your slower days or something.
And there's no bell.
Yeah, see? It's an inferior park.
I suppose.
All right, time for our last question of the day. That means I'm going to give Mr. Newell 3 emails to choose from. One gets read today. The other 2 go back into the email queue
Drum roll.
answered later. You ready, Mike?
The tension mounts.
See, I was all fine until Fred said that. Now I'm nervous.
You've only done this about 100 times now.
Don't screw this up, Mike. It's important.
see?
Someone's email is going to be read or not read based on
pressure.
what you decide. So just take your time.
Mary
Yeah,
Jo
Mike,
Collins
I just wanted to
is
let you know
tunneling
we're
me.
all counting on you.
Thank you. Dr. What's his name? Well, I can't think of his name.
Don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, I couldn't think of Dr. Just get Mary Jo Collins' email on. Let's get going and get back to this.
Here are your options, Mike. Fast Pass Conundrum.
Ooh, no, a moral conundrum.
I thought she died.
What?
And the category is it's a grill and a cooler.
I think in honor of our special guest for the next 3 weeks, I'll go with the Fast Pass Conundrum.
All right. Oh, no. A Fast Pass Conundrum. Next, last email of the day is from Connie Lippert of Seneca, South Carolina.
Hey, Connie.
Writes, P.S. I love Coronado Springs, the Animal Kingdom, and Captain EO. Why did she listen to our show? Anyway, have been enjoying your webcast and webcast archive for several months now. Thanks. My question. On a trip to Walt Disney World, probably in 2008, I went to the studios early and alone with all my family's tickets, 4 of us, in order to get fast passes for Toy Story Midway Mania. I joined my family. What was that?
It's not going to work. I think I know where she's going with this.
I joined my family outside soon afterward, and we all went into the park and enjoyed the day.
Oh.
This summer, I went alone and early to see the Magic Kingdom in California to get my family of 4 fast passes for Indiana Jones. To my surprise, only 1 fast pass came out valid, and the rest were invalid. I asked a cast member about it, and he told me that the individual has to come into the park with their park ticket in order to get a fast pass. In both cases, we had a Magic Your Way park ticket. Is this a new policy, or is it a policy that differs depending on the park?
No, that happened to me, Matt, in February when we were there for the sports showcase, and I remember they gave us complimentary tickets, but I did not use my complimentary ticket to get into the park.
Right, because you
I
have an
used
annual
my
pass.
annual pass, and then I tried the complimentary ticket at the Fast Pass machine, and it said, you did not use this to get into the park. So they want you to use, and I'm not sure why, they want you to use the park ticket that you used to get into the turnstile that day.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the policy. I'm not sure what. I mean, I don't know how she got it the first time.
Well, the reason I was going to say the only exception would be if they shut the Fast Pass system, like the internal system, down.
Oh,
Like we've seen times when there's been some kind of a bug or something, and for some reason they can't link people's tickets to the Fast Passes they get.
I know what you mean, Fred.
Yeah, so it's possible that happened the first time, so that the machine didn't know, it wasn't sort of synced up with the network.
Yeah, no. When Lights Motors Action, the stunt show opened up, they don't use really Fast Pass there anymore. But when they did use Fast Pass over there, that system, that ticket for Lights Motors Action was not on the same network as the other tickets. So you could have gone to Lights Motors Action, gone to Fast Pass, and then like 2 minutes later gone to Tower of Terror and gotten a Fast Pass over there because because Lights Motors Action wasn't on the system. So yeah, you're right. If there was some sort of a network connectivity issue or whatever, something happened, some snafu, I guess that would have explained that one time.
I guess that it could be, let's say you have some friends who, we bought a 4-day park hopper, but I'm only going to use 1 day. And tell you what, Matt, I'll give you mine if you want to get an extra Fast Pass. So
Yeah, they don't want you.
they don't want that to happen.
Yeah, they don't want you to game the system.
That's right. And the fast pass distribution is based on distributing guests around the park, right? So they want the distribution to be based, one ticket for one person that's in the park.
Yep.
So yeah,
Very good.
I think it makes sense.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Don't forget, this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, where right now there's many great offers, like you can get a free gift card up to $500 at Walt Disney World for trips that are, it's going to be good on some trips between October 3rd, 2010 and February 16th, 2011. You got to book by November 21st. And if you stay at a value, you can get a $200 gift card, deluxe $500 gift card. So this is one of many great deals that MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can book for you. Just visit them online at www.mousefantravel.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, of course, you can visit the WDW website at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Fred Hazelton, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.